Hey guys, it's Miss Falconberry. I'm just going to give you a little rundown on how to work through this limits project, especially using Desmos and Google Docs. This limits project is posted on Canvas. The description is included. So I wanted to start with part one, creating the graph that should be using piecewise functions. And I wanted to show you how to use Desmos to create a graph that looks similar to this or different, depending on what you want to use, whatever functions you want to use. So you're going to start with desmos.com/calculator, and that's where you get a nice blank graph. So what you're going to do is over here, you're just going to choose some equations. It doesn't matter. So, we can start out with a basic line, y equals x. And of course, you're limited to just one line. So choose another function. Let's say natural log of x. Okay. So after kind of playing around, you need at least 3. I'm only going to do 2 as an example, but after playing around with some functions and looking at them, you may decide, or you may be ready to make it piecewise, because right now, of course, this is not a function because it doesn't pass a vertical line test. A vertical line would be crossed twice. So when you're ready, you can make it a piecewise function by going back up to beside your equations and opening up a bracket, and choosing exactly where you want your break to be. So I'm thinking maybe right here at 1, because it's nice. I like how this crosses at 1, 0, and this crosses at 1, 1. I like how that's nice and neat. So I'm going to say, okay, let's let this line be when x is greater than 1. Okay, so as you can see, it's limited it to only when the x value, the domain, is greater than 1. So now natural log, let's make it to where it's less than or equal to 1. So type in x is, and now to type in less than or equal, you start with the less than sign, and then on your keyboard hit the equal sign. Oh, that's a plus. Hit an equal sign, and it changes it to less than or equal to 1. And there you go. So what has happened is now I have a little jump. Okay. Now you're going to be screenshotting later just this graph, not over here where these equations are. So if I were just looking at the graph, I wouldn't know which one is, which one owns the fence, which one, is at 1 and which one's not at 1. So we need to put a hole and a closed circle on each of these. So over here, I want to just start with, since the natural log, since we included that on the fence, I'm just going to put a point. So I'm just going to type in the point 1, 0. And there we go. It's got us a nice clean point right there. Now let's put another one at 1, 1. And now it has a nice clean point there. So the problem is, okay, I've got 2 nice clean points. I need one of these to be a hole. Actually, this one needs to be a hole since our equation didn't include 1. So what I'm going to do is go to this little pinwheel. I'm going to go to this orange right here. Just click on that. And this second is a hole. And as you can see, it changed to a hole. And I actually want it to be the same color. It looks a little better as what I had. There we go, a hole there. And I can change this. I can go back and edit, change that to blue. Or I can make them all red. So I can make that red and that red. So now it's nice in one color. It's totally up to you. Just make it pretty readable. We also know that natural log has a vertical asymptote right here on the y-axis. So if I want to show that, I would type in the y-axis function, which is x equals 0. And a line appears, but we usually don't draw asymptotes as lines. We show them as dotted lines. So I go back to that edit, and a dotted line is right there. And you may not be able to see that. Maybe if it's orange, you can change it a little bit, but there I can tell that there is an asymptote there, so that's clear. Okay. So once you have finished in Desmos, you're going to just take a quick screenshot of your graph, and then you're ready to start typing in Google Docs your or Word, either one works, your problems. So, just a generic heading, limits project, put your name. Okay, then your graph, you'll cut and paste it here, your screenshot. And then you'll type in some directions like evaluate the limit of the graph above or something like that. Then you're ready to start your limits. So, of course, number them kind of like it's a worksheet. So start with problem 1, and you're going to go up here and you're going to go to insert and you're going to say equation. Okay. So then this little bar right here should pop up. Go to math operations and you'll see a limit. So now I can type in whatever I want. So maybe I can say the x as x approaches 5 of f of x. And there we go, one problem done. Okay, next problem, maybe this bar is still here. If not, go to new equation. If not, go back to insert equations like you did before. Math operations, limit. Okay, so let's say you want to say 5 from the left. So type in x approaches 5 and then shift 6 will give you an exponent. Okay, so shift 6 will give superscript. Okay, well, it didn't. I can always go back. Okay, so 6 from the right would be a plus sign, left would be a minus sign, and then don't forget your function, whatever you label your function as. There we go. Let's do new equation. Let's go to limit. We can also do an infinity sign really easily by on your keyboard going to Option or Alt, whatever you want to call it, but Option 5 will give you a nice infinity symbol. Okay, so Option, and then 5 will give an infinity sign. Can't type. So, eventually you'll go through and finish 10 of them. Make sure that the equations are applicable to your graph. They should, your graph should be kind of setting up for these problems to make them kind of meaningful. Otherwise, after this is done, after your graph's nice and you formatted everything and it looks great, you just file, download as a PDF, and then upload that onto Canvas, and you're ready to go. And you'll be able to, your peer will be able to review yours, and when they submit theirs, you can review theirs in return. So that's the limits project. I think this will be a really interesting project to play around with. It's fun to play with graphs and do things online, and it'll help you prepare for your test coming up next week. So let me know if you have any questions.